without killing him.
He's badass.
Yeah, he's good. He's great. It's nice to have somebody like that in the show.
It's a good thing.
Did you guys just talk about The Last of Us without me?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see where it goes. Dustin's making a weird face. Welcome to another episode of Podjiba, the Podjiba television podcast. I'm Podjiba comedy editor Dan Hamamura. With me, as always, our Podjiba managing editor Tori Preston.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Tori. And apparently, he is Stacy's dad now. Added a new kid suddenly, randomly. Dustin Rolls.
No.
What?
I'm married to Stacy's mom.
What?
Come on. Stacy's mom has got it going on.
Yeah, that's a song.
Yeah. Okay, I'm Stacy's dad.
Right, but what? I don't understand. What?
Are you trying to say that your wife has it going on?
No, I'm just making a pop culture reference.
Well, look. His
you?
real title this week is president of the Josh Peck fan club.
Oh.
I don't know how you didn't know Josh Peck.
I didn't know Josh Peck. I don't understand
Josh Peck,
how.
don't you, Dan?
Yeah, Josh Peck, star of Grandfathered on Fox.
Yes.
What? What is happening?
And from Drake and Josh, but
yes,
that everyone knows him from Grandfathered, or he was the love interest on. Oh shoot, what was he the love interest on?
How I Met Your Father.
That's right, How I Met Your Father.
I know him best from The Whackness, which is like one of my favorite movies. I never watched Drake and Josh.
And apparently the Turner and Hooch show.
Oh yeah,
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, apparently everyone in the world knows this guy. And then they went on Google to be like, is Josh Peck in The Last of Us? So I, trying to write my recap, go on Google Trends because I try to see what people are looking for. And that he was the only thing anyone looked for. It was 5 variations of, essentially, is that Josh Peck? And
if you
I had
know
no idea who he was
Josh
at all.
From Josh and Drake. Josh and Drake used to be he was a bigger kid.
Drake and Josh.
Sorry. Yeah. He was a bigger kid.
He had like the Chris O'Donnell glow up as an adult.
Right. So he got but it's been 20, 25 years. I don't know. Last year when Drake was in that show about the kids who had a hard time on Nickelodeon, there was a whole thing where he complained that Josh Peck never came to him and apologized or said anything. And then throughout the course of that, him and they had a falling out or something, but they reconnected. I think that Drake had stalked Josh at his wedding or something. No, he wasn't invited to his wedding. And he made a huge stink about it on social media.
Okay. I have never seen Drake and Josh.
Neither have I.
Uh-huh. You seem like you know an awful lot.
Dustin's more
Drake
of a
Josh.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody guy. So
I never saw that either. I was too old
Dustin.
for any of those.
You were too old for them, is what we're saying.
It's just really funny that you were immediately like, yes, and rattled off his entire IMDb page.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really became obsessed with him because of The Whackness, which was this amazing film at the first Sundance I went to with him and Olivia Thirlby. It was one of those quirky, and Thirlby was the manic pixie dream girl in that sort of era of movies.
Yeah.
And he sold pot out of an ice cream cart.
I assume everyone does.
Probably.
If I had an ice cream truck, I would absolutely be selling weed out of it. Not hard drugs, but weed.
I've never seen The Whackness, but it has kind of an insane cast.
It does.
So Josh Peck, Olivia Thirlby, Ben Kingsley, Famke Janssen, Mary-Kate Olsen, Method Man, Jane Addams. The only person I knew, I've never seen it, but the only person I knew at the time was Aaron Yu, because I was like, oh, look, Asian actor. Mm-hmm. This is great.
It was like Thirlby's first role. I think it was before Juno, and then I was sort of like smitten with her, and then I saw her on the bus at Sundance, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the woman from The Whackness. And that's my story.
And then you said that to her, and she put on her headphones.
I think she did have her headphones on the bus.
To make sure no one went, it's the woman from The Whackness.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Anyway, Josh Peck was in The Last of Us, and Dustin briefly.
Which
he gets killed. He got blown up. It was great.
He's too big a star, in my mind, to get a cameo like that. It's not even a cameo. He's just like a working actor.
He's just a dude who gets. Yeah, but like, imagine. To me, that's making it. It's not getting a big part in The Last of Us. It's getting killed by Jeffrey Wright in The Last of Us.
I'll give you that.
Come on. Like, he'll always be able to say, like, yeah, I did Drake and Josh, and that one time Jeffrey Wright blew me up with a grenade.
Yeah.
Also, maybe he's a fan of the game and just wanted to have a small part.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's like, what was remember how there were, wasn't it, who are the people who showed up as stormtroopers?
Oh,
like The Mandalorian. Like, there was always that thing of like just people who are fans. And they're like, yeah, I'll do like one scene. It was like, it was fucking Ted Lasso.
Right. Sudeikis
and who was the other one?
I forget. Or like Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper in Last Jedi.
Oh.
Briefly.
Good for him. Like, that's when you know you've made it.
Yeah.
It's not the things that give you money. It's when you just can basically be a children's action figure for a day.
That's fair.
That reminded me of my favorite random, not cameo, because it was like like 2 or 3 episodes maybe, but random casting, which was when Rob McElhenney was on Lost.
Yes.
And I was just like, why is Rob McElhenney here? And it's fine, like, he's not bad or anything, but it's just, I'm just confused because
he was just also a dude who wasn't like important.
He wasn't important. He was just random dude in Lost who I think gets killed after a couple episodes.
Yeah. I didn't know who he was. I didn't start watching It's Always Sunny until later. So I was watching It's Always Sunny going like, why does that guy look vaguely familiar? And it was like, oh no, he had like 3 episodes of Lost. I was like, oh yeah, no, I definitely, that's where I know him from.
Yeah. Lost's Rob McElhenney.
Yes. Lost's Rob McElhenney. I was thinking about probably one of my favorite cameos. And cause like, and maybe it was because people were talking about Scorsese on The Studio. But it's like when directors or like Hollywood types show up as themselves in stuff, and it's always like weird heightened versions of themselves because it's like not really a cameo, it's like a fake version. And I still think the best one I ever saw, and I don't remember the context, I don't remember what was going on in the episode. All I remember was that one episode of Bored to Death where for some reason Jim Jarmusch is riding a bicycle around a Brooklyn loft, like just inside riding a bike around. And it's just like, and it's basically color. Like, I don't even think he was important to the episode. It was just like supposed to be like, and this is something our characters would encounter in Brooklyn. And I was like, you know what? I could see it.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys see The Studio this week?
I still have not started it.
Me neither.
Oh my God. There was just something really funny in this week. The whole episode was like, they cast Ice Cube as the Kool-Aid Man, and as the voice. Oh. And then right after that, they have a huge freak out. They're like, oh my God, is it okay to cast a black guy as the Kool-Aid guy? Because are people going to think that we're associating Kool-Aid with black people? And then so they go ask other people of color, and like the creative director or whatever. She goes, no. I don't associate Kool-Aid with black people. I associate it with poor people. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly right.
I like that we have not talked about any of the shows that we have on our
we
list
haven't
yet.
we haven't even
Tori.
Yeah, we haven't even done.
No, I'm just saying we're doing really well.
Yet. Yeah,
we're doing really,
Tori,
really well.
What are you drinking? Since we're
I got a bottle of Lambic because I haven't had it in a while, so I'm gonna work on. I'm already
which flavor?
halfway through. Raspberry.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
So, we'll see. I'm already almost halfway through, so let's get this thing going.
Yeah. I am also almost halfway through. I got a bottle of Josh. It's called Sea Swept. And here's the interesting thing about this bottle. It is a Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Grigio.
It's
it is
both.
I don't know how, but it is both.
But isn't that like when they call something a red blend? Is this a white blend?
It must be.
But they're telling you the actual types. Also, because I didn't know Josh had like types of wine. I thought it was, they would have a Sauvignon Blanc or whatever, but they're always just Josh. I've never seen like Sea Swept or Wind Swept or whatever.
Well, so I will say this one cost $1 more than the regular Josh.
Oh, so it's like their premium.
Premium, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think they're saying that Josh is sea swept or that the wine is sea swept? Because I'm just picturing like a dude named Josh in like khakis rolled up and like sandy feet and like some sort of like striped Oxford shirt, sort of half unbuttoned, like flapping in the wind, and he's just like looking out at sea.
And that's how you picture Josh?
I picture Josh. I cannot picture the wine. I very much think that I hope there is a real Josh behind the Josh wine, because if there isn't, why would you name it Josh?
Is it Josh Peck?
Oh,
what if it's
Josh Peck?
We don't know. Could be.
He grew up and started a wine, a grocery store wine for white dads. I love this. Now I'm going to picture Josh Peck.
Yeah, I think I probably will too. And then he gets blown up in a tank.
Next week you're going to be like, I got another bottle of Peck Special.
Oh no. It's a very different scenario.
Not really.
I'm drinking a fresh new bottle of Tullamore Dew has appeared in the Magic cabinet. So I didn't buy it. So
that's all that matters.
Free to you.
Free to me.
Yeah.
All right. We should probably talk about our shows, right?
Unless Dustin has anything else he wants to bring up.
Yeah.
I should bring up that over the last 2 days, I watched the first season of Outer Banks.
Oh, and how was it?
Fucking fantastic. Oh my God.
You loved it.
I loved it so much.
Oh my God.
Okay, wait, so to remind us, Outer Banks is the Netflix. Is it a YA show? Would you consider it a YA show?
I guess so. I mean, it involves high school kids.
Okay.
But
they're
call
like
it
searching
YA.
for treasure and hanging out. And the Outer Banks is a region in North Carolina. Is that right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is the Bahamas near North Carolina?
I mean, it's off the East Coast, right?
I think so. There's a one point where they end up on a boat and then they get lost and then find themselves near the Bahamas.
Okay. It's set in a community in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Dustin.
Okay, got it. All right. So thank you.
I'm so baffled.
It is treasure hunt. Well, there's like this hidden gold that they spend all season sort of trying to find. But there's like a lot of like danger. It's like really tense.
Is it like,
I don't know.
Is it Grown Up Goonies?
I wouldn't describe it as Goonies either. I don't know. It reminded me of high school version of Bloodline a little bit. Do you remember Bloodline?
Okay. Yeah.
Just in that it's kind of, it wasn't as grim, but the tension ratchets up every episode because you're like, how do you get out of this predicament that just keep falling further and further into this group of friends? They're like the poor kids, who are the Pogues, and they get into this there's a rivalry with the rich kids on the island, which are the Kooks. I don't know. It's a lot of class stuff. But
is there murder?
Yes, there are a couple of murders. Yes, and you have to try to figure out. I mean, there's a mystery about who is behind the murders.
So it's like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well, there's not really. It's not a horror element to it, really, but it's kind of.
Is it like the second season of Friday Night Lights meets I Know What You Did Last Summer meets The Goonies?
Not even a little bit, no. I would not describe it in that way at all.
My interest is fading so quickly.
I would say more like Dawson's Creek with murder and class issues. And treasure hunting.
Dawson's Creek had class issues, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I
they were all.
Wasn't Joey supposed to be?
Joey was a little bit lower. Yeah. Not as. Yeah.
Very
and also,
heavy rabbit ears.
And also, wasn't like the two kids that come in season 2, like, aren't they like single parented or something? Or were they rich? Was it the other way? Kara Smith and Kara Smith.
What's he for? Oh.
I don't know. I don't remember.
In that case, I would actually say it was more like the OC. It's more like the OC in that way.
That does
very distinct.
Yeah.
Okay. But more murder.
Yeah.
And the OC had some murder.
Yeah, it did have some murder.
It did give us the greatest murder of all time.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Which then gave us a great sketch.
I am. I don't think that they'll be able to keep the momentum up for 4 seasons, but it was a really good first season.
So you're watching all of it?
Oh, hell yeah.
And your kids are delighted by this?
Well, Lila knows. I didn't want to tell them because I was afraid that they would spoil it for me. If they knew, they'd want to talk about it so much that it ended up spoiling. And tonight, Lila found out that I'd finished the first season, and she immediately asked me like dozens of questions about who my favorite characters were, but she did so without spoiling anything.
Okay. That's very cute. So you are watching a show not because of the bracket, because obviously we kicked Outer Banks out of the bracket.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But because I ran out of shows to watch, weirdly.
How?
And I know, right?
That doesn't seem possible.
That's not possible.
I know. I did. Like over the weekend, I was like, I got nothing.
Lazarus is still going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't watch that. I watched a cartoon last week. You saw. I watched the whole, the number one American Happy American Family USA.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was really fantastic.
So why do you keep, like, you enjoy cartoons?
I think I like cartoons. I don't like drama cartoons. Because
almost
the drama
every cartoon is a comedy.
Yeah, there's...
Well, yeah. So, like, Rick and Morty I liked for a little while, and I think I got tired of it like everybody else did.
Yeah.
I still love Bob's Burgers.
Apparently another season is coming on. I literally was like, oh, that show's still happening?
It got renewed through, like, at least 10 seasons, I think.
Yeah. I got tired of Archer after 2 or 3 seasons, too. Maybe even more. I might have made it to 4 or 5, but... I guess, yeah, I'm okay with animated comedy.
So animation.
Cartoons.
Most animation.
Yes.
Most animation.
I feel like that's the stuff that you guys always want me to watch are, like, dramatic.
Cowboy Bebop has a dog who's a genius, who's a hacker.
Yeah. I feel like you give us too much credit, or you're just you don't listen to what we say about cartoons.
Mm-hmm. That's also possible.
Yeah.
Does it just tune out like the Charlie Brown voice?
You liked Invincible for a while.
A little bit, yeah. Yes, but not a lot.
But apparently, and I still need to catch up on the latest season. Apparently, the latest season was fantastic.
Yeah, my kid is obsessed with it.
Yeah. So
he also liked that hotel show that everybody loves. The kids love. Hotel Has Been. Yes, something like that.
I haven't seen it. I don't know. I'm not really up with the kids.
Hotel Has Been?
Nah, something like that. Hotel something. It was on Prime Video. They're doing a spinoff now.
It's not this one.
It has an H and a Z in it.
Hazmat?
No.
I don't
Is it
know.
Has Been Hotel?
Maybe that's it.
That sounds more likely.
Really? From like... Oh, here we go. It's a musical also.
No, that can't be it.
I don't know. Reception, critically acclaimed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Has Been Hotel. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Haven't seen it.
Okay, we'll see.
Neither
you guys
is
aren't
Dustin.
very up on your
Cartoon.
animation, are you?
Are you really going to say that to us?
Wow.
Are you actually going to say that to us?
Well, I'm just saying. Have you watched #1 American USA Family, whatever?
Did you watch, what was that one Netflix one I watched? Gentry Chow.
Oh, yeah,
No, I've
that
never
was
heard
good.
of that.
That was really good. It was great. You would actually really like it. It's
Gentry Chow is kind of like, it's like if you took like Chinese mythology and a little bit of action, but then merged it with
Buffy
or Dawson's Creek, or it's very much like a Buffy, or like it has a little bit of just a little bit of Clone High, in like the melodrama, like it's like Clone High comedic melodrama,
Mm-hmm.
and the cast is it's Ali Wong, right?
yeah, Ali Wong, who actually did not sound like Ali Wong, like I was kind of shocked. I'm like, oh, you did like a whole voice for this, which is interesting.
Yeah, because I'd heard her on Big Mouth, which I still like. Big Mouth cartoon.
Big
You
Mouth.
love that. Look how many cartoons Dustin enjoys. But
Fair.
no, Ali Wong on Big Mouth sounds like Ali Wong. Like she didn't. So I kind of just assumed whenever she did voice work, it would kind of be like that.
Bubbles. Sorry.
Anyway, there are lots of cartoons that Dustin likes, despite professing to not like cartoons.
Yeah, Dustin loves cartoons.
Yes. And Josh Peck. Has Josh Peck been in any cartoons?
Oh, he definitely has. He was in
I'm sure.
at least some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff.
Oh.
Which I only looked up his IMDb very, 5 seconds ago. But,
Oh, okay.
you know.
There you go.
He's done stuff. He's been a working actor for a long time. He did Robot Chicken, Lego Star Wars.
Everyone's done Robot Chicken.
He's done Trolls. He did a voice for No Malone in 2017.
Wow.
So, he's been working.
The point is, you should watch Outer Banks. Not the YouTube, because you'll never get around to that. But people who have run out of things to watch Outer Banks. I'm excited to get caught up for the 5th season whenever that comes.
People who are scraping the barrel.
I mean,
consider
come on.
this.
It's just everything ended, except for what I haven't caught up on, and I feel so bad about it, and you haven't either. I assume.
Hacks?
I feel Doctor Who.
Oh no, I am still. I think I'm now 2 episodes behind, but I've been always 1 episode behind on it.
Oh, I haven't watched any of the new season.
It's actually good. It's actually been or at least what I've seen has been good. Alan Cumming.
I feel bad because the ratings are in the toilet, and I'm contributing to that by not watching it.
Well, no, but I also feel like this is the problem. I don't think. I mean, I get what they were doing, but I just don't think Disney does not promote it the way. It's kind of what happened when Sci-Fi had it, right? Sci-Fi. I mean, and they didn't make it a big deal. It wasn't a co-production. They didn't air it at the right time. But it was they paid a bunch of money, but it wasn't a priority. So I just don't think they promote it the way.
Right.
BBC America couldn't pay that much to BBC for it, but it was their biggest title. So it was
Right.
like, all the money we're not giving you, we're putting toward like billboards and taking it to Comic-Con, and it's like a
Right.
huge deal.
Or doing
And-
like promoting like we're gonna simulcast live with
Yeah,
London,
we're
so
gonna
you're
put
not
it
behind.
in. Yeah, and we're gonna do what was it? They did what's the simulcast, but it's in theaters. Not
Fathom.
Fathom. They were doing Fathom events for like the big episodes, stuff like that. So
I think maybe Doctor Who works best when you watch it on Netflix disc, like a year after they aired in England.
okay.
I haven't enjoyed it as much.
Dustin
since
dusting off the
binging,
Battlestar
like,
Galactica
the
defense for
4th
Doctor
season.
Who.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, it's still good.
I will get to it, and I'm sure it's great. And I love Judy, and the cast is great. But also Saturday nights, like, come on,
It's hard. It's hard. I also do, again, because it doesn't air. It's just like I don't know when it's on when
Right.
it hits Disney Plus.
Right.
And Disney Plus has so much other stuff. Like it's just it's not even top of the banner. Like it doesn't push me toward it in any real way.
Unfortunately, they have a top tier show called Andor going right now, so it's hard to
Unfortunately.
get past it.
those 3
What is-
episodes.
Dustin, how dare you?
What? You didn't like them?
gosh.
You didn't like
No.
I'm sorry that you
Whittaker
hate. I'm sorry that you hate an
gas?
arc about Forrest Whitaker getting high and
Yeah.
love. Like every storyline is about love.
Yes.
You know, I could tolerate it for an hour a week, but like to force 3 hours on me. Even Mike was like, 3 hours is too much in one
No,
week,
it is.
especially when it's like this sort of like middle section where
So you'd
nothing
rather
really
that
happens.
this middle section stretches out for 3 weeks.
Yes.
Really?
That way I can keep up on it without being miserable. I mean, by the 3rd episode, I was like, I just want this over with so I can move on with my life.
I don't know. I was curious about. So there have been interviews with what's his name, Tony Gilroy, where he's talked about how they had like budget issues at a certain stretch, and I kind of wonder if this was the stretch where this was the stretch they decided to kind of like trim a little bit,
Yeah.
because it was the most table setting and least explosive, or it feels like it's probably going to be that of the
Despite like
of the episodes.
somebody dying and
Yeah.
like a couple of things like actually kind of exploding.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that going to be
But-
their thing? They kill off a character.
Well, I mean,
like
I'm assuming we're going to lose most of the people we care about.
yeah.
So,
I mean, especially because we know
yeah.
what happens to Cassian.
And we know where Cassian ends up, obviously.
Yeah,
But
so-
Right.
but
What's the release schedule?
What?
Remaining? What's the
There
release
should
schedule?
be. So we've got 6 episodes, and there should be 6 more. So it's
Yeah.
it's
There's 2 more
3
weeks.
episodes a week.
3 episodes. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But Dustin, I disagree with you because I think that having these, I think I would be frustrated if it was weekly in a way, even though, I like weekly releases generally,
Yeah.
because of the way these stories are structured. I
Yeah.
think I'm okay with it being 3 in a row.
I'm in between because like I am not going to watch all 3 in one night. Like I cannot do it in one sitting. I will just fall asleep even if I try. So like, what's the point? But I also don't feel like there's the pressure. Like I like watching 1 to 2 episodes, and then the next night I'll finish it off. And it's
Yeah.
like you don't need to start it. Like I don't feel like the spoilers. I don't feel like it's a show, even though I know people talk about like I have to watch it then or else it'll get spoiled. Like
Right.
I don't think you could tell me literally everything that happened in all
Yeah.
3 episodes, and I still could sit down and watch them and not feel like it was spoiled.
It's not
So, like-
it's not a show that, again, we know that we're pretty sure that most of these characters are going to die.
Right. So it doesn't really affect. So I don't feel like I need to watch it release night. I can watch it. I have a whole week to watch it whenever it fits with what I'm doing, and like it's enjoyable.
Yeah. I've been going about 1 a night.
Yeah.
Except
And like
for,
chase it with other stuff if you want.
Yeah.
And like, I'm still enjoying it.
Dustin just hates stories about love. He doesn't like the
really
fact that
like
all the central themes were about these couples.
Guy. Yeah. No, Dustin was definitely like, there's not enough space shooting in this space show. I wish there was more spaceships going pew 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 pew.
Basically, what happens is I lose interest and sort of zone out, and then like catch up on the previously ons in the next episode. I mean, it's on, but I just kind of I just lose the plot. I don't know. It's just not
maybe you should spend a little more time watching the show and a little less time thinking about Outer Banks.
Yeah, it's no Outer Banks that Dustin rolls.
It's true. Outer Banks is exciting.
Oh my God.
All right. I just want to get that in quickly, especially because we didn't really talk about Andor last week. But also because Dustin's wrong, and he has to sit there in his wrongness while we talk about Survivor.
Before you go to Survivor, I just want to mention that Taskmaster started this week.
Yes.
Mantzoukas is on, and he's great.
How do we watch it?
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I saw one clip of Mantzoukas, and now I'm like, I need to watch him. He's amazing.
It's so much fun because I think he's the first American they've ever had, and they already give him shit about
being American,
the way he pronounces things. Penalized. They were like, no, it's penalized. And he said,
that?
I don't know. He said season, and they said, no, it's series.
Well, okay, that's a thing. Yeah.
I have a question because I am not someone who's watched Taskmaster before.
Which is insane, but sure.
I understand. But so
you don't have to have seen any Taskmaster previously.
Right, no, I understand that. But so we tried in this household to watch because I was like, Jason Mantzoukas is on. I've seen that this is available. Let's try it. And the first several minutes, they're not doing anything. They're just kind of sitting there lightly bantering.
Oh, yeah.
The magic trick bit was funny, but then when does stuff happen?
Right after the banter, they do the first task. There's 4 tasks in each show.
4 tasks per episode? Or per season?
And then the first is always that sort of bring in something.
Right.
And that's probably what you saw.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of set up. And then I think there's 4 tasks, and then they have a final task in studio.
Okay.
So you didn't even make it to the first task?
No.
Oh. So
I was kind of like, what is happening? What is this show? It's not, it doesn't have the cadence of Last One Laughing, which, basically got into it right away. And it was just no, these people are all here. They're all going to, try to make each other laugh.
The sitting around banter was the point, and you knew that.
No, just stick with it till at least the first task.
Are there winners? Do people win per episode or per season?
Yes, both. You can. There's a winner in each episode, and then there's an overall winner per season. And the stakes are basically you win Greg Davies a gold.
Oh, I did see
Greg
that.
Davies' head. Yeah.
Okay.
And
it's meaningless.
There's no elimination.
No.
Okay.
They perform these tasks over the course of, I don't know, a month.
So it's basically Whose Line, but with tasks.
You have to see the task because the tasks themselves are insane, usually.
Okay.
And these comedians are forced to go through, and the tasks sometimes are really, really, sometimes very difficult. And they get very frustrated and angry, and that's the fun. And then they come out, they do the task. You see that because they did them previously. And then they comment on the task. And Greg Davies scores each one.
Okay.
Based on how well they did in the task. You just have to make it through one task, and then you'll probably be hooked.
All right.
Okay.
And
I
then
mean,
you'll
I
end up
do
watching
want to. I do
all
want to
18
try
seasons.
one. Well, we'll see. I have a lot of
telling
Devil's
you.
Plan to watch,
I understand, but
and
this
by
is
a lot I mean one season that's coming out tomorrow.
legitimately the best game show I've ever seen in my life.
Really,
And it will never be topped.
really, the best game show you've ever seen.
Anybody that's watched Taskmaster will probably agree.
Wow. All right.
Huh.
It's not a contest.
Wow. Well, I guess we're just going to be talking about a significantly inferior game show in Survivor, although it wasn't
a reality competition. It's different.
Is it, Dustin?
Yes.
Because from the sounds of it, Taskmaster has no stakes and no reward, whereas Survivor has actual stakes and an actual large reward.
Right.
Although, if they just started giving people gold Probst head statues, that would also be pretty funny.
It would, yes.
And people would probably still play, although not the guy who was only playing so his girlfriend.
David.
David.
Wait, did you guys see Cedric's tweet or post this week?
No.
He said that David came in and had that face during the entire jury. He never changed his face.
Oh, yeah. He looked so angry.
Yeah.
And then Cedric, at the end of the post, he said, "These are not serious people." I'm like, Cedric! Whoa!
Yeah. No, David was he's such a sore loser.
He is.
And his whole, his interview with Dalton Ross, the post, whatever.
Yeah.
Elimination interview Yeah, the exit interview was so, it's just,
he has a lot of divorced dad energy, probably because his
girlfriend left him or whatever. But then he's like, "Oh no, I met somebody new and she's great and everything's better." Like losing Survivor was great.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's also apparently someone who is the
new
scuttlebutt on the internet.
Oh,
really?
So it's someone who played New Era, who he met probably at one of the Survivor meetup things.
Oh, that poor woman.
But
I mean, unless she sucks.
Dustin, you never know. Maybe they're very happy.
What if it's Genevieve?
Isn't Genevieve married?
I don't know.
Wait,
isn't Genevieve Canadian?
She didn't really suck. Why couldn't he meet a Canadian woman?
I don't know. She lives in Canada. Probably.
He lives in a trailer in Los Angeles or something.
Yeah, you think they're going to let him into Canada?
That's true.
Anyway.
Did he make it far enough to qualify for 50?
Did he make it far enough?
Why would they bring him back?
They're not going to bring him back.
They're not going to. He's not that interesting.
No.
He's
especially if you're going to do half pre-40. He's not. He'd have to be top 9, top 10.
Yeah.
In post 40. There's no way he makes it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's amazing that we're still talking about David even after this is a week after his elimination. Just because this episode was kind of not the best. I mean, it was a bummer. There was potentially a plan in place to try to mess with Joe. Nobody wanted to, but then Joe won immunity, and then no one wanted to try to take out Eva or even try to flush her idol, apparently.
That was interesting. They didn't even mention her. They were like, Shaheen would be the backup.
Right.
But they didn't even do that.
Yeah. And instead, they end up just taking out Star, who I'm still so curious what her... I haven't read her exit interview, but I'm just so curious what her game was, because we didn't get to see a lot of it, but it they kind of made it feel like she was just hanging out, which I can't imagine is entirely true, but we never really got to see... She didn't really have a number one. She didn't really have alliances. She was just kind of around. She wasn't great at challenges.
Right.
She was
So
bad.
I don't know.
And
but she was entertaining.
And people liked her.
That was it. I mean, even when Jeff would try to ask her essentially about strategy at Tribals, she would just talk.
It's always hope, Jeff.
Right.
Or Uncle Jeff.
I think she was just hanging out.
Except for Joe didn't like her. Or she and Joe didn't get along.
Well, but I can also see Joe not liking somebody who seems unserious or uncommitted or whatever. Like, Joe has his own.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What I did, so it was a pretty lackluster episode. However, I think for me, the most interesting thing was, Camilla and Kyle have their weekly, check-in, super secret alliance buddies. And Camilla's kind of like, I'm going to try and rally the outcasts to take out Joe, to target one of the strong people, and tells Kyle, and Kyle's like, Joe's my bro. I don't want to, I'm not going to vote with you on this.
Right.
But he's like, you're my number one. I will, do what I can to support you. Mm-hmm. And so it was really interesting to see the way that he did that, where he's kind of treading his own line, where he's like, I'm not going to lie to Joe. I'm just not going to tell him what's going on.
Right.
I'm not going to vote against him because I don't feel comfortable with that. But he won the reward challenge. And he very deliberately chose, he was able to take 3 people to go eat. And he chose them intentionally to stir up drama in the hopes that it would help people side with Camilla. So he took Camilla, but he also took, was it Eva and Shaheen? Mm-hmm. I think. So Joe was ticked off that he was left out, although he realized I'm babysitting. Right. And then it was all of the other outcasts. So it was Mitch and Star and Mary. And Mitch at that point thought he was tight with Kyle. So he was why wasn't I taken? So Mitch was all upset.
Right.
And it was interesting because Kyle was very much I want them to be angry so that then they will help Camilla.
Right. They'll come up with a plot.
Right. Yeah. If we go to Rocks, that's great. Yeah. It's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to vote with them, but I want her to have a shot at executing her plan.
Right.
And of course, Mitch, and it ends up being that Mitch just kind of chickened out. Mary was all for it. Camilla was all for it.
Mm-hmm. I think Mitch was smart in that he didn't want to align with either Mary or Star because they're so unpredictable.
Well, so it was true, but at the same time, so his point was right now, he knows that he and Camilla are they're with the strong group up to 6.
Right.
Mitch or Camilla, one of them would be the bottom.
Right.
So it's you're already, I think they're at 8 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
7 or something so you're going to make it
8. You never make a move at 8. You always make a move at 7.
Right. But it was still sort of look, yes, you were I can see the argument that, okay, you're guaranteed at least into 6, but then you've lost any hope of changing things. Then the alliance is strong enough and you are 2 outliers. You have a really hard time flipping it.
Right.
Whereas, Mary and Star are unpredictable, but you don't have to trust someone to work with them this week.
Right.
And I think that was it. It's longevity wise, if you can knock out one of those strong people, this was your last chance. The fact that they voted out David the previous week was shocking because they had the numbers and they themselves voluntarily knocked one down so that it was tied between the people who are in the alliance and the people who aren't. 4 and 4.
Right.
This was your chance to upend things. And he let it go because he didn't trust Mary and Star. And it's it's Survivor. Don't trust anyone. Yeah. Why is that a thing?
Yeah.
So I thought he was an absolute chicken.
I think they go after Joe hard this week. This is the 7. This is where you go after Joe. But it's going to be Kyle that's going to have to lead it. And then if Kyle succeeds, then he's next. He loses his shield.
Because I think where they're at right now, unless they do some really different, as long as they keep doing really physical challenges for the immunity, it's going to be Joe and Kyle. One or the other trading off who wins the challenges.
Although this one wasn't a physical
Kyle
one.
was not as close,
This
but
one
he had
was
also won the reward, so.
Yeah. But this was the immunity letters. And I was surprised that Joe won. It felt like a Mary sort of challenge.
It did. I was actually impressed because Kyle was also very close. It was still Kyle versus Joe for most of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Shaheen was in there a little bit.
For a while,
That one looked like it took a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think as long as if Joe ends up on a streak where he keeps winning immunity, like they're never going to get him out. They do need to. They need to flush.
They also need to flush the idol.
They need to flush the idol. Because what she has? Does she have 2 of them now? Or no? She got. What was the other advantage she got?
She has. Doesn't she have safety without power?
That's it. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I feel like somebody's going to take Eva. I don't think anybody wants to vote her out. They're going to take her to the end. And she's not. She's a good player, but not strong enough to win.
I don't think anyone wants to sit on the jury with her because I think she has too good a story.
I can see that.
Because if she makes it, it's like, why wouldn't you give it to her?
Right. Especially because she would make it with a bunch of allies on the jury.
Yeah.
Arguably.
That's fair.
Yeah. And she has, like, if you look at people who have, she's got a lot of advantages. Like, she's played well.
Mm-hmm. And she has won challenges, so it's not like she's done nothing.
But she is sort of riding David and Joe's coattails.
Not David so much.
Well, she tried.
Well, but Joe, I mean, if Joe doesn't make it to the end, then
right. Yeah.
all of a sudden
then
she gets to tell the story.
Do her own game. Yeah.
And she has someone campaigning for her, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm really glad that Camilla survives again, and that I mean it does feel like one thing about the Camilla Kyle partnership that I'm really enjoying is that besides the fact that people still don't seem to know, which is fascinating, but also that they both kind of, it's not one where someone's game is clearly superior.
Yeah.
Like they do, it's not like one person is clearly the support for the other person's game.
Right.
Like they both, for either of them to win, they both need the other person to go pretty far. Yeah. And they kind of need each other where they are. Which I don't know. I mean, to me, that's an interesting dynamic because it's rare that, usually it feels like one person's dragging the other person along. But
right, this one is they're very clearly like their strengths are opposite. Like they very clearly came together and was like, "Oh, I'm good at this, and I'm not good at this, and you're good at the thing I'm not good at, and you're not good." Like we are complete opposites. Yeah. So we can play 2 completely different games, mesh with 2 completely different groups of people, or not mesh in Camilla's case. Like but it's like we've got between us. We've got the whole game covered. Mm-hmm. Like there is nothing one of us can't handle. Like I think that's just really smart.
Mm-hmm. I will say the Reddit people who hate Joe this week thought he was an asshole for how he handled Mary, and just straight up told Mary that everybody blamed her for David.
I mean, I think that...
I thought that was like an honest...
I don't think it made him an asshole. I think he didn't need to say it. I think it was weird because he was doing jury management, but it was not really... It was just kind of a weird thing. Because it's like, you could also just not... Why are you going there with her?
Yeah.
Does that information actually help her?
It felt like I don't think it's a dick move. It feels kind of like an arrogant move.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like, I have power. Me telling you this is not going to hurt my game.
Right.
And in theory, I think it's going to help me because you're going to be on the jury and I'm going to, I'm helping you out. I'm giving you intel.
Yeah. But also it's just interesting because she didn't really refute it. She's like, that's hilarious or whatever. But it's like, well, were you? Like, I still don't understand what. Because David's exit interview was very much like Mary glommed onto me and I couldn't shake her.
Right.
And so I'm really curious how much of it was the edit or how, like, what was actually going on. Because watching the episode, it very much felt like, yeah, she may have glommed onto him, but he was fine with it.
Yeah, he was receptive to
Yeah.
her.
And they were both right about Colin Camilla.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's not focus on that.
I'm glad that Mary got to stick around for another week to try to sow some chaos in the 7.
Yeah, I want to see what she... Because I think she's most interesting when she's backed into a corner. Mm-hmm. And so... I'm very happy
I think she
there.
survives this week.
I'm mostly worried that I no longer really see a path for Mary to win. I think she could get to the end but not get votes.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because I think that there's something... Somehow the Mary that played against... say at the very beginning felt like someone who could make big moves.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because she just didn't have any allies, because she felt like she had to just, fade into the background a bit. But that she's not playing the same game, and it's interesting to see, because I'm curious if she has an opportunity to turn it back on.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think it's Mitch's week, because I feel like everyone thinks that he'll be a threat if he ends up on the jury. Mm-hmm. And I think for whatever reason, even though people are like, Camilla's really smart, I don't think anyone views her as a final 3 threat. Like Mitch, I think everyone is sort of like, no, but if he gets to the final 3, like which I always thought was weird. Like I didn't think people seem to hold him in a very high regard, like the players.
I feel
as if he's a bigger threat than I imagine he is.
That's also a little bit of like a story thing.
Yeah. But so I'm curious if like they go for him this week, or if they finally rally and try to target one of the strong people.
Well, we will see.
That's Survivor.
We have about 8 minutes left before the duck quacks, but
I assume neither one of you actually watched 4 seasons.
I
watched the
almost
whole
did
thing.
because of your.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like such an easy binge?
It was very, very easy to watch. I have not seen the movie, but now I do want to see it.
I haven't either. Yeah.
So it's there's a remake. It's Tina Fey, Lang Fisher, and
Tracy
Wigfield, who are all like Lang Fisher and Tracy Wigfield were both in Tina Fey's camp. But they're all showrunners. Like the whole writers if you look at the writing staff, they're all showrunners. It's like 8 showrunners. It's insane.
Did Wigfield do Great News?
Wigfield did Great News. Lang Fisher did Growing Up, whatever. J.K. Simmons was in it, I think. Anyway, you have like this like murderer's row of writers. You have an insane cast where it's like Tina Fey, Will Forte, Steve Carell,
Coleman Domingo.
Coleman Domingo. It's just it's just one of those shows that's like it's really well made. Everyone knows what they're doing. It's surprisingly pleasant. It's not like Tina. It doesn't feel like a 30 Rock or any. It doesn't feel like any of the other Tina Fey created / produced shows tonally, right. But I don't know. It was just really nice. It's still funny. They did find one thing that they were very good about was they found the right balance of there are moments that are sitcom jokes, but they play it in a way that feels appropriate for this world.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel too out of place. I think a big part of that, at least for me, comes from Will Forte and just the fact that he always sounds and acts like Will Forte, but it works. Like somehow the fact that he's that big and broad is believable, which is I don't know how he does it because it shouldn't work. Like Will Forte, you should just be like, oh, it's Will Forte, but you're like, no, it's Will Forte, but it's also this guy somehow. Coleman Domingo
he's
also
MacGruber.
was great. Yeah, he's MacGruber, he's also Tina Fey's husband somehow.
Yes.
Shoot, what's her name? I blanked on her name. I'm so from the state.
I don't remember her name either.
Carrie something.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's good.
I'm gonna look her up, but she had some of the best, like, just dry drive by lines that she's just commenting on something.
I really liked the young person who I guess was in the Mean Girls Broadway. I assume she probably played that.
She was in that, and she was in Girls 500.
Oh.
Was she?
She was one of the young versions of one of them. So she wasn't in it a lot, but Carrie Kenny, sorry, that was the other one. And Erica Henningsen was the younger cast member, the younger main cast member.
She was like the young wife who was...
Yeah, one of them ends up with a young wife.
Right.
So
Who you're supposed to hate, but you end up kind of loving her anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm of the right age for this show. And a lot of it sort of like, oh, this is familiar to me and my friend group. And I don't know. I just liked it a lot. And it was really, I watched it in one day. I just couldn't stop watching.
Yeah. When I read your review, I was like, I do need to watch this. I feel like I would really enjoy this.
It's just really pleasant, and it goes on. It's just the easiest show to watch.
Yeah.
It disappears like nothing. And Coleman Domingo, oh my God, that guy is so good. And I haven't been able.
Good.
I watched the poor guy for 7 seasons in Fear the Walking Dead, just sort of like wasted, suffering through this horrible show. And it's so good to see him in things that actually matter.
Hey, Dustin, don't denigrate your hard work of watching all the Walking Dead shows.
God.
I noticed how you didn't even put the Negan show on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Did you even remember that you watched a Walking Dead show this week?
Only because I wrote about it. Oh, poor Jeffrey Dean Morgan there. And that's the thing. Like Coleman Domingo, he's such a good actor. And he just wasted. And now he's like, that's his persona now. He's Negan forever, which sucks because he's so much better than that.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's Denny from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, we know. So you very rarely quit shows. And, like, looking back at your entire tenure with The Walking Dead, was there ever a moment where, like looking back, could you have gone, like, I should have walked away then? Like, that was the time when I should have just said, and this show is done for me, and I'm just going to walk away. Or do you think, like, you're happy that you're still in the trenches of all the spinoffs, like, not giving up on this franchise?
I'm happy that I stuck with the main show. Okay. The Daryl show is the one that I hate. That's the hard one. And this one is not good at all, but I still love Jeffrey Dean Morgan so much that I'll stick with it anyway. Even tired, beat up, I don't give a shit anymore. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is fantastic. And I feel like I know him so much better from Supernatural and his relationship there, and it sort of makes me like him more.
I do appreciate the fact, and I know it, like, you know, because of time jumps and everything, it doesn't really matter, but there is something funny about being like, the kid who played his son in this show introduced him to his wife in real life.
Yes.
And, like,
it's wild.
Yeah. And there is an age gap, but not like not like an egregious one. It's not like, you know, appalling. It's just, and they're like bros.
The best guy.
Yeah.
So I'll stick it out for him, but it seems like he doesn't want to stick it out much longer.
He's got a candy store to run with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
He's busy. I don't know if they're still run that.
I really want to see his movie with Quaid.
Oh, yeah, they have a movie coming out.
I think it came out, but
Did it?
I think it might have been like 5 theaters or something. It felt like the kind of thing that they sort of give a token release.
Yeah. Contractual, like it technically was in theaters for like 5 minutes.
Wait, what movie is this?
Right to streaming.
I don't even remember. It's like a heistish kind of thing.
Neighborhood Watch?
Yes.
Oh, Jack Quaid.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
The only
Goodness.
Quaid that matters.
I don't know. You said Quaid. I don't know which Quaid. There are so many.
The good one. The good one. No, we didn't get to talk about the Righteous Gemstones.
No, we're still going to talk about it. Or you're going to
Okay,
talk
real
about
fast.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, hold on. Okay, so it ended. The ending ended up being higher stakes than I would have expected given the season. The previous episode, because it's all been about Eli's love life, right? And like, so he starts dating an old friend of his dead wife's, and she had an ex-husband who is played by Michael Rooker. So obviously he's crazy and like runs a gator farm and is a murderer. But her son is Sean William Scott. And it turns out, so like the dad ends up dying. Sean William Scott helps him kind of get eaten by a gator to save Eli and baby Billy. But then in the finale, you find out that actually the son had been helping the father off all of the ex-boyfriends. And he wants to buy the gator farm. So he like goes to the Gemstones asking for $7 million because he helped them. And they're like, no, we're not giving you $7 million. That's insane. And then he shoots the kids. And this is the thing about the show where it's like, it shouldn't work and it shouldn't be funny. But it is the funny, they're shot. Yes. And the three of them are like each individually, like they're just dragging one of you. You're like, okay, Jesse's still alive. And then Kelvin drags himself down the hall and Kelvin's alive. And Judy comes around the corner and they're all just separately dragging their bloody bodies across the floor of this giant lake house and then arguing about what direction they have to continue to drag themselves in to get help. And then they use the helper monkey to get a gun and they shoot Sean William Scott when he comes back in with more ammo and they don't die, even though he shot all of them, some of them multiple times. They shoot him in the head and blood spurts out. But it's the like big tie up to you find basically the Bradley Cooper episode finally like in the finale, you kind of understand why it was there. And so part of it is the gold Bible that was stolen. They get it back. It's a follow up, but it's also the prayer that they do over the guy's body as he's dying. Because he's like, please pray for me, like do a real one. And it's very similar to how the Bradley Cooper like essentially found God, how he went from being a fake preacher to a real one. He had to offer a genuine dying prayer.
I didn't even pick up on that, but yeah.
And it is. So the three of them kneel over the body and they do it right. And it was interesting because it's the way that Bradley Cooper, like the way their ancestor found his way in was really speaking about the human condition, like about himself. And if you listen to the prayer that they all pitch in on, they're all describing themselves. So like Jesse is able to talk about how humans are weak and jealous. Judy talks about the pain inside that humans experience. Kelvin, is talking about fears. Like it's all the traits that we've witnessed them. And it doesn't mean that they're going to suddenly be great preachers, but it's like that. I guess I didn't ever actually expect to ever think that, because it's not really the point. Like you don't sit there and go, oh, they're going to be great mega church running, preachers or whatever. And like, they're going to be fine no matter what. But it was actually, I appreciated that the show found a way in that moment to kind of be like, they're not Eli, but maybe they do kind of deserve to inherit, to take over the reins. And that's why the show's ending here. Because it's like Eli finally gets to a point where he really can walk away. And he goes back to the boat. They still had another great scene just talking about the fact that his dick still works. And I think that's the other thing. I need you all to understand why I really do like this season is that so much of it centered on John Goodman's penis. The things it goes into, the things that come out of it in graphic detail.
Yes.
And John Goodman has to sit there and listen to these three actors just talking about his dick. And I'm just really happy for him. I thought it was a wonderful finale to a show that I could not picture how you end the show. And it was still very funny, weirdly touching at moments, but very much a Righteous Gemstones finale. That wrapped up the show better than I expected. So,
yeah, it did for me. Now that you have talked about how it tied back to Bradley Cooper, which I didn't pick up on, but yeah, that's fantastic.
So
it was a really good episode, the Bradley Cooper episode. Did you see that one, Dan?
No.
Oh, fuck. Go fuck.
I had forgotten that Bradley Cooper did an episode until you just mentioned it now.
It was the beginning of the
season. So good.
Yeah, I know.
It was so good. It was very good, but it was interesting because the whole season, you're like, it's got to tie in somehow. Why did they do it? It's such a weird outlier.
Right.
And it genuinely didn't. Like, you kind of know at one point that Michael Rooker, like, was the one that robbed their house when the gold Bible got stolen. So then they were kind of like, oh, is finding the gold Bible going to be the only way the whole Bradley Cooper thing ties in? And it wasn't, but so that was nice.
Okay, well, I just appreciate that episode like half a grade letter more.
Yeah. But the point is that they drag their bloody body around, and it was so funny.
It was.
Because I genuinely
hysterical.
was like, are they just going to kill the gemstones? Or is that like...
That's what I thought, too.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Because they've been teasing it all episode, because there was something earlier where they almost died.
Yeah. And like...
Also, Sean William Scott is so much a better actor than we give him credit for.
Yes.
He's really good in this, and weirdly, he's really good in that stupid Tim Allen show. He was really good on the Lethal Weapon reboot.
Oh.
When he replaced the guy that got kicked off, who was fucking amazing, but also had a lot of anger issues. I don't remember that guy's
Lethal Weapon reboot?
That was a TV series.
Yeah.
Oh,
they ran for like 3 or 4 seasons.
Yes, I do remember that was a thing.
Who?
Was it Josh Peck?
No. Who was in that show?
I don't remember, but I do remember that they recast or they replaced the lead.
Was it Scott Conn?
No. Scott Conn was on Hawaii Five-0 for many years.
No. Yeah, it was the guy from Rectify who was amazing in Rectify. And he was really destined to be like one of the great actors ever. But it turns out that he was like just a terrible person.
Clayne Crawford.
Yes, so good. Who was the other guy in Lethal Weapon?
Damon Wayans.
I thought so. But it felt so wrong that I didn't want to say it. Because, like, that doesn't make sense. And yet, he was
it
really
does
good
make
at it.
sense, Dustin.
Yeah, I guess it does.
It does. This time. I definitely thought Eli was going to die, so I was happy that he didn't die.
Mm-hmm. And Calvin and Keith got married.
Keith's outfit was fantastic.
Keith, who is not Theo Vaughn.
Right. Which nobody thought except you. So, glad we cleared that up. Anyway. And there was a duel. We finally got the big, what's the actor's name? From Blade. I mean, from everything. The guy that Jesse duels with. You know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Stephen Dorff.
Dorff, yeah. all I can think about is the e-cigarette ads he did for a while.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, why are you doing like vape commercials?
Blade. He was also in True Detective. Season 3, people. Really good.
I like Steven Dorff.
I do
He's
too.
great. He's great. He
And
was
I
great in
also
this.
have definitely never mistaken him in my brain for Brad Dourif.
No.
Never.
Why would you?
It's just the name. It's literally just the name.
Right. Okay. I can see maybe sort of.
So you're like, Chucky, Steven Dorff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big Chucky guy, so I anyway.
Can't win them all.
Mostly know Brad Dourif as Fiona Dorff's dad.
Oh. Did you not watch Deadwood? Okay.
I have watched it, but I forget who's in Deadwood often. Because, I don't know, it's just a really good show, and I forget who the actors are. Like, I forget that, what's his name? Was in Deadwood.
Ian McShane?
Yeah, all of them. Ian McShane, Oliphant, what's his name from Psych? Tim Amundsen.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't remember him.
He was in Supernatural.
That's right.
Everyone ends up on Supernatural. That's how I know them.
I think that's true.
Also, when you were talking about Blade, for a second, I thought that we were all forgetting Wesley Snipes somehow, and that Wesley Snipes was in Gemstones, which would have been amazing. But anyway, that's the show. We will be back next week unless someone is sick or something. I don't think there's any trips, so hopefully we're all fine in here.
And we'll see what happens on Survivor.
We'll see what happens on Survivor. I will be watching Devil's Plan, so you can expect to hear about that. It's really good. It's so good. Like
every time you say the name, I think it's that Peter Capaldi show on Amazon.
I do too.
And I'm like, why are you so excited?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, it's the Devil's Hour? What was the name of that show?
I don't know. All I know is that it's not a Korean competition show where they force them to live in the set they built and play a bunch of games. It's great.
That sounds like
I will say that I was choosing between Outer Banks and that band camp or whatever.
Oh,
the challenge.
Oh, Battle Camp?
Battle Camp.
Yeah.
And I ended up going with Outer Banks.
Battle Camp is more of just like just watch it. Like you don't need to pay super close attention. It's a pleasant. It's like the way that the Survivor channel, like the Fast channel where they just stream random old seasons. That's like become background noise now. So I'll like put that on sometimes and just have it. So it's like, oh, it's this season. Oh, it's these people. Oh yeah, I remember this. And you don't have to pay close attention.
Television comes with the Letterman Fast channel, like the default, and that's just perfect for me.
Did you have to pay extra for that? Because I'm just saying, like, did it comes with that?
Like you turn on, it's like a smart TV, and like the background whenever you're looking for.
Yeah, they just have a bunch of free live channels now.
Yeah, mine's Letterman. For a while it was Conan, but then it went back to Letterman.
Did they have a Craig Ferguson one?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Seems like a missed opportunity.
Really, you are a Craig Ferguson person, aren't you?
I really am. There's a robot.
I can see that. Yeah.
Late night has never gotten better than that.
I feel like Dan is a Conan person.
Yeah, I'm a Conan person, primarily. Wait, Tori, did you ever watch The Hustler?
No.
Which Craig Ferguson hosted? Sorry, it's a game show. It went, I think, 2 seasons on ABC. It was they bring in 5 people. One of them, it's just like it's like a short version of like a Trader Z game or something like that. But
okay.
But it's 5 people. One of them is the hustler. So all the questions that they have to answer are about that person. Like it's based on their life or like questions that they answered. And then as a group, you have to try to figure out. You have to answer these questions, and you're trying to figure out who it's about, right? But they're obviously trying to mislead you because they don't want you to think it's them, but also they want money because you're also building up the pot. So it's very silly and very fun. Craig Ferguson is a fun host.
Yeah.
It's
I wonder if I can find it.
It might still be on Hulu. I don't know.
Yeah.
I watched it on Hulu, but
okay.
It's just a very silly game.
Show.
The fun part was that at the end you would get the part where, so when it's down to the final 3, because every so often the hustler gets to remove someone from the game.
Right.
So then you get down to the final 3, and then the last discussion is the 3 people. They all say who they're voting for, and then so you see who their initial votes are for, and then they have 90 seconds to try to convince each other to change minds. And so it's them being no, I promise it's not me. Look at the evidence. Look at this. Look at what they said here. Clearly they're the hustler. Sometimes it's very fun. Sometimes it's so obvious who it is, and they're we're not changing our minds. So,
no.
Yeah. That's good. It's very, very. It only went. Yeah. It could have gotten more episodes, I think, but
yeah.
I don't know how well it did. Anyway.
Oh, I'm excited. No, I had never heard of it, and I will look for that.
The point is, there should be more low-stakes game shows.
Yes.
Like Taskmaster. The best.
Yeah, but I mean, people should still win money. Or a car.
Yeah.
Not a good car, but...
Yeah, it would be... Or a washing machine.
Yeah. Washing machine, cash and prizes.
We don't get enough Price is Right style prizes.
Yeah.
Stuff for the home.
Yeah. Oh, but they are... Sorry, I know I ended the show already. But they are bringing back Match Game, the long-running classic. They're bringing it back again. Martin Short is going to be the host.
Oh!
Could be good. Better than Baldwin. So
yeah.
Huh.
Match Game was really about celebrities being probably drunk and getting as close to the line of the censors as they were allowed.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is anymore, unfortunately. But maybe it will be again. So
with Martin Short, anything is possible.
Yeah.
I hope he does it all as Jiminy Glick.
That would be amazing. I don't think that's the show that they bought, but maybe that's the show that they get.
I mean, I feel like when you hire Martin Short, you understand that it's a 60-40 chance that you're going to get Martin Short and not Jiminy Glick.
Yeah. All right. That's the show. We'll be back next week. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. I'm excited that I know who your late night people are now.